Hi, I'm Keith Bogard with eXp Realty in Lethbridge, and here today I'm with David Lanz of Accrual Accounting, and they're located at Unit 100, 519 7th Street South in downtown Lethbridge. So Dave, can you tell me a little bit about your business?
Well, here at Accrual Accounting, we operate on the principle that people are first. I believe that if we take care of the people, the money will eventually follow, and we want to make sure that people get the most out of their accounting experience, whether that be making sure that they get every deduction possible or the lowest amount owing possible, or make sure that they're not paying an arm and a leg for accounting services that don't really take a whole lot of time.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, especially when dealing with small business, because, cash flow and everything else, affordability is really important.
Exactly.
Even more now than ever.
With a sole proprietor just starting out or a new corporation just starting out, they can't afford those big accounting firms that charge $3,000, $4,000 a month in bookkeeping or in tax preparation services. So that's why I offer them a very competitive pricing, where I can offer them payment arrangements so that they can always make sure to be able to pay their bills and mine.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think that's really important. So, what made you decide to open this business?
I got really sick and tired of people being overcharged and underdelivered with their accounting services. Yeah. I found out that tax services, there's not a whole lot of people out there. In fact, there's the mom and pop shops doing it out of their basements. There's the H&R Blocks of the world. And then there's the accounting firms who really don't want to do your personal taxes, but are forced into that position anyways.
Yeah, no, I think that's very true. Because my previous life, we'll say, in the work world was similar to yours, and I saw that firsthand where with tax preparation in larger firms, it's something they didn't really want to take on, but they just had to provide it because the need is there, and there really is a shortage of people that are actually doing it and qualified to do it. So yeah, I get that. So how did you guys get started in Accrual Accounting?
Well, I tried getting into an accounting firm by applying and doing the interview process and whatnot. A lot of accounting firms said I'm an extrovert, so I'm not a great fit for accounting firms.
Stereotype, right?
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
And so a couple of them said, go get experience.
Yeah.
Well, I got my very first client back in January of 2018. I didn't even have a business name, didn't know what I was actually going to do with this, so I offered bookkeeping services for this one client. And from there, it blew up.
Wow.
Greatly. Last year we did 353 personal taxes and 14 corporates. And this year we did over 613 personal taxes.
Wow.
And are well on our way to over 24 corporates.
Yeah, so definitely there's growth happening.
Oh yes, huge.
Business for sure. Okay, so what drives you to do what you do? What's your motivation?
I love seeing the look on people's faces when they look at their tax return and say, holy cow, you got me that much back?
Yeah.
I did not expect to get anything back. I'm always owning. And then they look at my bill and they're like, no way, I have to pay you more. And a lot of my clients, they would ask me can I tip you?
Oh, really? Okay.
Something that's completely unheard of in the accounting world.
It is.
To tip your accountant? What? Well, first of all, probably my prices is too low if they're trying to tip me, but I opened up that option in my Square terminal to allow that tipping functionality.
Okay. No, that's great that people, they're really appreciating what you're doing and the cost savings. And I think what I recall from when I was doing that, working in that field, is a lot of people are not aware of the deductions are actually qualified for, and
they
it's
change
quite shocking. And they're always changing. How to qualify for those deductions is changing, and I was just surprised with some very significant deductions that people didn't know how to apply to their tax return or if they even qualified. So
like I fixed many tax returns where they forgot about the eligible dependent claim with their kids.
Yeah.
Or they forgot that their kids have a disability tax credit to be transferred to them.
Yeah.
And just little things like that.
Yeah, for sure. What has surprised you most about owning a business?
Well, the one thing I love about what I do is I love bookkeeping and working with people.
Yeah.
Owning a business, however, and having employees, I don't really care for the managing the people bit.
Okay. That's fair enough. Yeah.
And so that is the biggest surprise that I've encountered with owning my own business and taking on 11 employees.
Yeah. There's a lot of logistics involved and people management. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
In addition to running, the operations of your business. So
Exactly.
yeah, I understand that.
My approach with my employees is very different than any other boss. I've been an employee of other places and other businesses and operations, and I've always been given the shaft end of the stick. Metrics is what's important. We have to meet our goals and targets. I don't have that here.
Yeah.
Instead, I have a system in place where it's like, okay, let's have fun doing what we love. Let's make sure that people are taken care of.
Yeah.
And it proves every time when I come back from a vacation or a holiday or whatever, and the employees are like, he's going to be so mad. I didn't get my deadlines done. And I'm like, what happened then? And they're telling me, somebody came in, their oxygen tank wasn't working, and they're about ready to rush them to the hospital.
Oh, jeez.
And I said, then you took care of the people, and that's what truly matters.
It does, and it's great that you see that, the importance of it when dealing with employees, because as you know, and I've come from a similar background working with some very large companies, you don't have much identity as an individual. I always hate to say it, you're just a cog in the wheel, and it's very bottom line driven.
Yeah.
So that's really great. What was it like when you first started?
When I first started, I was working out of my basement.
Okay. Yeah.
I had one kid at the time, so fortunately for me, he's very quiet.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a big deal to work from home.
Yeah.
When I first started, I was taking on everybody and anybody, and that's just the way it is when you're a sole proprietor. You want to make sure that the cash flow comes, so you promote your business to everybody and anybody, even if they're not a good fit for you. I found that out later, that I had to fire a couple people because they really weren't a great fit. And when my little girl was born, she was incredibly loud. So working from home became not an option
not as
anymore.
feasible.
And so I found my first office downtown, well, on the outskirts of downtown.
Yeah.
And it was a one-room, 2 desks, very crowded, kind of similar to this office space now.
Well, there's progress, though. You've made progress, so that's good. What is something people don't know about accrual accounting that you come across that are not maybe a service or something they not aware of?
Accrual accounting is more than just your accountant.
Yeah.
Accrual accounting is your friend, your advisor, your payroll expert, your student loan repayment assistance plan coordinator. Yeah, I offer things that most accountants don't offer. In fact, I have clients that rent out my camper trailer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's a thing. I've even helped a couple clients with will developments.
Right.
And little things like that. It's not common, but I do it.
Okay. No, that's great. And I think those things are important when you're dealing with small business, to have that connection, because I think that's what people are looking for, and not just to feel like they're kind of brushed to the side. And the old way of doing things where you take your stuff to someone, leave it there, and you might get a question or two, and then the work will be done, and then there's your file back. But there's not much. There really isn't a lot of direct interaction or any personal touch put into it.
Exactly. So I tailor my services based on each individual person. So my tax appointments are an hour long.
Yep.
They rarely last that long. Some people want to just come in, get their taxes done, and leave.
Yeah.
So their appointments are 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm fast, but I'm as fast as I need to be to make sure that you get the service you need and deserve.
For sure. Okay, that's fair. That makes sense. So, what would you say customers love the most about your business, about Accrual Accounting?
They love the fact that it's a relaxing atmosphere,
Yeah.
and that they can bring their kids here. I'm not sure if you noticed the train table outside.
Yeah, that was very cool.
Yeah. I don't know any other accounting office that has a
No, I haven't seen one yet.
Yeah, so I
rare.
have my kids coming, and I just encourage any clients that are coming to my office to come hang out with me, have a coffee, let your kids play on the train table. Let's have a conversation about your numbers, and let's see if it makes sense to you.
And that makes sense, because it should be a relaxed environment, because taxes for a lot of people is not a very relaxed subject. So you want them to be as comfortable as possible, because it can be pretty stressful for a lot of people. So
in fact, I had one client, when I called her into the appointment, she told her friend, who is a good friend of mine, that I felt like I was being called into the principal's office. And that's the way it is with most accountants.
Yeah, it feels like that. Exactly.
Very confrontational, and I'm not like that at all. When she finally came in, she's like, this is not what I expected. It's nice, relaxing. I just come chill and have a coffee, talk to you about my problems, and you give me advice on how to sort it out. Yeah,
and I think that's what people are looking for. And I think now more than maybe ever before, it's more of the experience that people want. It's, being cost effective is important, but the experience too is what people are looking for, and that's, just makes it easier for them as well. How do you motivate and encourage your staff?
We joke around and have fun all the time. I push them beyond their own personal limits to find out if they can stretch them.
Right.
So I challenge them. We have challenges throughout tax season. How many tax returns can you do? And by the end of the month, the person who does the most gets a day off with pay.
Okay, that's really cool. And I think that's great, because it also motivates the employees, and at the same time increases the productivity. So that's a win-win. What would you say are your goals over the next year? What's it look like for Accrual Accounting upcoming year?
Well, we are upgrading our tech structure. We have moved our overflow office upstairs to be more feasible friendly for the handicapped individuals.
Yeah.
And so now when they come to visit, we're in the process of building a ramp so that the ramp will sit on 3 stairs and just go straight up those 3 stairs from the back door to our overflow office where they can come. I even had a wheelchair this year bounce down the 7 stairs. It was awful.
Yeah, that wouldn't be pleasant.
I'm doing this for people like that.
For sure, to make it easier for them. Okay. What would you say have been the greatest challenge to being a small business owner with Accrual Accounting?
Discovering that it's not about me anymore.
Right.
Like when I first started this business, I thought, I got to get people, they got to like me, they got to come here because they like me.
Yeah.
No, they don't come here because they like me, they come here because of my service.
Exactly.
It's not about me, it's about the service we offer. We being my employees and me.
That's right. What you collectively provide in terms of service, for sure. What is something people don't know about you, Dave? Would you say?
I love camping.
Okay.
I will spend every waking moment during summer looking for that next camping trip.
Okay.
In fact, me and my family, we go on a camping trip twice a year. Once at the end of June, once in the middle of July or August.
Okay.
And we usually try and go away to a different camping spot that we haven't been to yet, or to a favorite camping spot that we've already been.
So you've probably seen a lot of different campgrounds around the province.
I know quite a few between the border of, just on the other side of the Saskatchewan border, the Cypress Hills there, to all the way to BC, just on the other side of Golden.
Oh, wow. So you've explored a lot of different areas.
Yeah, as far north as Calgary and as far south as the U.S. Yeah.
That's really cool. So tell me about a memorable customer experience you have. I'm sure you've probably had more than one.
Oh, there's lots. It's hard to choose one.
Yeah.
The most memorable customer experience I had was a guy found me while I was still working out of my basement.
Yeah.
He went to an accounting firm here in town. He was skeptical about what they had done, and he had asked me to take a look. Well, what had happened was his truck was in an accident, and it was part of the farm business. So the accounting firm had disposed of the truck as other income.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's not good.
No, not at all.
So he ended up paying $16,000 in taxes.
Oh, jeez.
I discovered that mistake and found out that it should have been as a capital gain, not as other income.
Yeah.
So we made that adjustment for him, and he had to get $8,000 back from the government that he overpaid.
Right.
The very next year, he came to me, and I had done his taxes, and I had actually made a mistake. So unlike the other accounting firms, if I make a mistake, I will gladly fix it for free.
Right.
And I couldn't sleep that night. I had made a mistake. And I called him the next morning, and I said, hey, can we just go through that income one more time? We went through the income. We found out that, sure enough, I put one of the income as income instead of expense. Oops, my bad.
Yeah.
I said, you know what, no worries. I'm going to fix that. That's an adjustment on you. He's been my client ever since.
That's great. That's really a good story. So just more about Lethbridge. What do you love most about Lethbridge, the city?
What do I love most about the Lethbridge? Not the wind. No.
Well,
not the wind.
Yeah, no one seems to love that, but yeah.
I like how it's a small town atmosphere while still having the amenities of a big town.
Yeah, that's definitely a really valid point about it. You don't feel like you're in a city over 100,000 people. It just doesn't feel that way.
No.
But you have everything available at your doorstep. So Dave, what do you enjoy doing in your spare time other than camping?
Other than camping?
Is there no other?
Well, drinking coffee, does that count?
Well, sure, yeah, that could be a pastime. Yeah, I like coffee, so.
During tax season, I drink a lot of coffee. In fact, most of my accounting jokes are coffee jokes, because nobody understands the coffee jokes.
So, who from your childhood had the biggest impact on you, would you say? And
my grandpa. He was an out-of-the-box thinker, and he always came up with inventive solutions for problems in ways to save money.
Okay.
One of the inventions he came up with was, instead of getting that sandpaper stuff you just glue on a ramp to stop from sliding, what he would do is he would take paint.
Okay.
And he would paint the ramp. And before the paint dried, you'd put sand in the paint.
Right. Gotcha. So it's going to dry.
Very simple, very easy.
Yeah.
Now it's a non-slip resistant ramp. And one of his favorite sayings, and I use this around here probably way too much, is don't force it, get a bigger hammer.
Okay.
And that's the way I deal with life. You know, if you're coming up to a brick wall in life, there's no point trying to push your way through it. In fact, there's probably an easier way. And sometimes that's the way to go. Yeah,
that's a valid point. If you run into that, you should look at an alternative, because obviously it's not working if you keep hitting a brick wall. Yeah. So what does the future hold for you? Accrual Accounting, do you think?
I am planning to retire in 10 years.
That's a good goal.
I want to be retired by the time I'm 50. That doesn't mean I'm closing down shop.
No.
That doesn't mean I'm going to completely stop working here.
Yeah.
I love it here too much to do that. So that just simply means that during tax season, I will be here maybe 8 hours a day instead of 16.
Okay. Yeah.
And in the off season, I might be here 2 days a week instead of all 5.
That's a really good goal to have for sure. If a young person was to ask you for advice on how to live their life, what would you tell them?
Don't focus on the money. If you're constantly chasing money, you'll always be chasing money.
Yeah.
Focus on the moments that take your breath away.
Yeah.
The moments that truly matter, the moments that money can't buy.
Yeah. And one thing, to me, I believe, and I think a lot of people probably would agree, it won't buy happiness, that's for sure.
No. Money doesn't buy happiness. It helps, but it doesn't buy happiness.
It may help, but it's not good. Not going to do that. So, why do you feel it's important for people to shop local and support local business, say in Lethbridge?
Local businesses have a harder time with advertising. They have a harder time with getting the word out there because they don't have the budget like all the big firms do.
True enough.
And a local business the money stays in town. When you spend your money at a local shop, like for example mine,
Yeah.
I turn around and I also spend local. I spend at all of my clients who have a business that I shop at regularly.
And that makes perfect sense, because if you support one business, and that business is like a domino effect. We'll support another business, and then all the businesses will have strong support, and everyone's in a good position.
In fact, I have business cards of my clientele advertising their businesses out front.
Well, that's great. Yeah, for sure. Is there any exciting news that customers should know about?
In terms of?
Well, any promotions, new services, or anything you're looking at doing, or?
We have a contest that's nearing the end. Actually, today is the last day for this contest. And that contest is to help us name our filing cabinets. We love naming our filing cabinets.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's far easier to say, hey, that file is in Raphael or Donatello, than it is to say, hey, that filing cabinet is in filing cabinet 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, number third drawer from the bottom.
Oh, it's annoying. I would rather tell you
really
a
funny.
name, and then we go from there. So our old theme, as you probably guessed already, was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So the filing cabinet here in my office is called Yoshi, the person who trains Splinter. Splinter is out front. It holds all the current personal taxes.
Okay.
Then we have Michelangelo. It currently holds all of our office supplies.
Yeah.
Donatello is the things to be returned to clients. Raphael is ongoing work. Leonardo is the overflow, so it holds all the big boxes.
That's awesome and a lot of fun. So, Dave, what's the best ways for customers to reach out to you?
Give me a phone call, 403-331-3823, or you can reach me at david@accrualaccounting.ca, or you can check out my website, accrualaccounting.ca. Stop by the office. I'd love to have a coffee with you.
That's excellent. Well, thanks, Dave. Really appreciate your time today to discuss Accrual Accounting, and there you have it. So feel free to drop by and say hi to Dave and his staff at Accrual Accounting, located right downtown at Unit 100, 519 7th Street South. Thanks, everyone.